Ladies and gentlemen, Democrats, South Africans, Sanbonani, Goeiedag, Molweni, Dumelang, good morning. Welcome to the Democratic Alliance's Federal Congress 2018.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Aibo! Awusikhokhele mayimane. Ayaya awusikhokhele mayimane. Oh yeah, yes, Baba's home, Lilo. Oh, yo, is a who yes, Baba's home, Lilo. Oh, yo, is a who I see Coachelle, my money. Coachelle, my money. Oh, yeah, Viva, Dieu, viva! Viva Congress 2018, viva! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage. The best performers, the best group ever. African Roots!
What's up?
Listen to this African sound, African souls, African cultures, African beat, African roots. Those are the aspects that make what we call today Africa, our land. African roots. Listen to this African sound, African souls, African cultures, African beat, African roots. Those are the aspects that make what we call today Africa, our land.
happy. African roots, baby. African roots, baby.
Yes. They're on fire.
bo sila khaka seno moro muru ba retso mmangwana o fara phapana nna ke motlana ga ke itse sepe go tlhogo putswa ba lekile ga re tela ntshifetso tlhoka la tsela e motsopo di ana ka tsa tlholo tsela khopo se ja mephatso e tsile le tsholo go morwalo se le dirwa fela but this here motswako is we can tarantella I give right back like a tarantula listen just happy se rapa resi go boya bosetsi ba lela se ana marena go boya bogosi le bo se mamba ipala mabalangwe bo mankge maitsana go opela dikomarungwe that is go was by this was when es was when o fala mas texos usa umnando una that is go was by this was when es was when no manja wetaliwan so was like down no manja wetaliwan so was like down
barumba swa barha o thape barung khamolomo molomo ke suditse
no mame go to the Ladies and gentlemen, Democrats, South Africans, Sanbonani, Goeiedag, Molweni, Dumelang, good morning. As we approach the 25th anniversary of our first democratic election, we lead the way in honoring the dream of Utata Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela. Welcome to the Democratic Alliance's Federal Congress 2018. Welcome to the beautiful city of Tshwane, run by a Democratic Alliance-led government. We stand together with all South Africans, black, white, Indian, and colored, who share the values of freedom, fairness, opportunity, and diversity. Our mission is to fight corruption, to fight for all those who were excluded and left behind, and to get our people working so that South Africa can work. We are better together than we are apart. Together we stand, united, one South Africa for all. The Democratic Alliance is growing stronger every day. Total change is on the way, and the road to national government started at our last Federal Congress in 2015, when Mmusi Maimane became the leader of the Democratic Alliance. It was a historic moment, celebrated by all, and marked the start of a road to realizing Vision 2029. Mmusi began campaigning across the country, delivering the DA's message of change. visiting every community and learning from community leaders, but most importantly, listening to the needs of the people, sharing the values of the DA and presenting an achievable vision for South Africa. We set our sights on election 2016, determined to move South Africa forward. The people deserved leaders that would serve the people and not themselves. Leaders who put South Africa first. The ANC was starting to feel the pressure and attempted to intimidate us with violence and hatred. But we united and showed our strength, powerfully communicating our message of unity and change. Parliament was beginning to fall apart. The arrogant ANC refusing to hear the voices of the people, and the EFF was making a mockery of parliamentary processes. The only one laughing was Jacob Zuma. The DA fought back harder to expose the corruption of Nkandla, the Guptas, and state capture. We took to the streets and campaigned for jobs in support of the millions of unemployed South Africans. More than ever, we were determined to defeat corruption and work hard to deliver services to the people. Mmusi Maimane launched the DA manifesto, at the same time launching what was to become to date the most successful election campaign in DA history. Thanks to the dedication and hard work of DA staff members, public reps, and activists, the people started realizing that the ANC did not care and had forgotten about them. The people started realizing that they were free to choose. The people were starting to unite behind the DA as one South Africa for all. We retained Cape Town with an outright majority, and for the first time ever, we took control of Nelson Mandela Bay, as well as the economic powerhouse of Johannesburg and the capital of South Africa, Tshwane. The people had spoken. While we were making progress across South Africa, there were nationwide protests for Zuma to be fired. Everywhere the people were shouting, Zuma must go. South Africa was uniting against the evil of corruption, but it fell on deaf ANC ears. Cyril Ramaphosa was the vice president, yet he remained silent. More than ever, the people had to hear the DA's message of change, and Mmusi Maimane launched the Change 19 tour. From city to town, to village to the man and woman on the street, we explained to the people that there were better opportunities and real jobs with the DA. The hard work done by the newly elected DA mayors was beginning to bear fruit. In Nelson Mandela Bay, Athol Trollip was fighting corruption, and for the first time, thousands of people were given access to running water and flushing toilets, restoring dignity and hope to all residents. In Tshwane, Salim Simanga declared a war on drugs and crime to make our streets safer, and thousands of title deeds were handed over to families. In Johannesburg, Herman Mashaba was having corrupt officials arrested, extending working hours of clinics in poor communities and strengthening the police force to make our streets safer. The DA was proving that where we govern fairly, honestly, and for all the people. We were making progress, but still, the people were suffering. A corrupt and uncaring government was holding us back. We needed change. Through the continued hard work of the DA, in Parliament, in our courts, countless charges at police stations, and marches across South Africa, the DA finally won the battle and forced the ANC to fire the corrupt Jacob Zuma. But the fight to save South Africa has just begun. Already we have a VAT increase so that government can refill its corrupt pockets. The good work of our DA mayors is under attack. Our constitution is under attack. and land invasion is destroying the unity of our country, again, Cyril Ramaphosa remains silent. We live in a new dawn of empty promises. South Africa needs the Democratic Alliance now more than ever. Every single public representative, every activist, and every DA member must be determined and work hard to show the country that the DA is the only party that upholds the values of Nelson Mandela. Now more than ever, we need to stand together, united in our diversity. When we stand together, we can achieve anything. Let's stand together and move forward, all of us, united as one nation with one future. One South Africa for all.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Viva Dieu, viva! Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Democrats, people of Mozambique, are you ready? Are you ready for Federal Congress 2018? Please welcome to the stage one of our young Democrats, born and bred in Welkom Free State. She now leads DASO at UCT, serves as SRC President. I give you your program director, Karabo Khachau.
Hello, Tony! Amandla! Amandla! Viva DA, viva! Viva democracy, viva! Long live the spirit of liberation, long live! DA Tumela, Tumela,
Tumela.
Awe DA Tumela, 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 Ladies and gentlemen, Democrats, brothers and sisters of the African soil, I am your host, Karabo Khachau. Ke twadi ya mo Afrika ngwana na Mosotho ya na re. Mokubu wa matsatsa mathibedi kubu tsamara tsa re bone. Afrika borwa dumelang. Dumelang. As we gather today as a party to celebrate our shared vision of one South Africa for all, I welcome you all to the Democratic Alliance 2018 Federal Congress. Halala. From the mining towns of the north and the endless deserts of the Karoo, from the lush wild coast and the rocking mountains of the Cape, we have journeyed from far and wide, and today we've gathered as South Africans of every color and background. As the human race, we have gathered in Tshwane this weekend to celebrate the Democratic Alliance. This is the largest Congress in the party's history, with over 2,000 proud delegates. And yes, we are vibrant. We are a growing party, and the only party that has grown in every election since 1994. Democrats, almost a third of South African can now experience some form of DA government that proves that indeed we are growing, we are strong, we are a home for all South Africans, black, white, colored, and Indian. But this weekend, we gather to elect our leadership. Leadership that will take South Africa forward. Leadership that will take our vision of South Africa to every corner of our nation and lead our party forward as we prepare for the national government in 2019. We will make resolutions that show South Africans what kind of government they can expect from the DA. One that serves the people, one that cares. But most importantly, government that provides opportunities to every civilian in South Africa, regardless of where they come from, whether they live in the big and bright cities or the rural areas in the rolling hills of our rural areas. Now, Democrats, let's show South Africa this weekend that the DA is all about change. Let's show South Africans what we're all about. Let's share our vision of one South Africa for all. And welcome to the Congress 2018. Viva DA, viva!
Viva!
Mara, agora we are in Gauteng. To welcome us in Tshwane. Help me welcome onto the stage our DA Gauteng Provincial Chairperson, John Moody.
Viva! It seems as if we have a problem with the teleprompters. Viva DA, viva! Viva! Viva DA, viva!
Viva!
Let me just get, technology, I'm a bit challenged. But it seems as if I'm not the only one. I'll do it this way. Fellow South Africans, Democrats, I'm privileged and honored to welcome you to our Congress here in Gauteng. This province is not only the economic heartbeat, but also the political powerhouse of South Africa, our beautiful land. Gauteng has become the new frontier in our quest to truly liberate our people from the oppression of unemployment, poverty, and an ever-increasing unequal society. These hardships have been brought about by years of maladministration, corruption, and self-enrichment by an uncaring ANC government. Compatriots, we are gathered here to do the important work of Congress, that is to debate and pass resolutions, to make amendments to our Constitution, and to elect leaders. However, we must never lose sight of our purpose of existence as an organization. The primary purpose of the Democratic Alliance is to restore the promise of freedom by delivering a better life for all South Africans. You and I must never forget that we, the Democratic Alliance, are the only voice of the voiceless. We are the champions of the marginalized, and we are the advocates of those who are forgotten. As proud members of the Democratic Alliance, we are committed to building one South Africa for all our people. This project has commenced in the municipalities where we govern, as well as in the province of the Western Cape. In about 15 months' time, if not sooner, we will be governing in Gauteng as well. And that is a promise I make to you. Therefore, it is symbolically important that we host our Congress here this weekend. It is on this very turf that we will launch our challenge to the ANC. And Jesus will come sooner. In conclusion, I pray and hope that we have a fantastic and successful Congress. And may you, our visitors from the other provinces, have a wonderful experience of Gauteng hospitality. Amandla! One nation!
One future.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, now onto the stage. Please help me welcome the Gauteng North Regional Chairperson, Ntate Abel Tau.
Amandla.
Awethu.
Viva DA, viva.
Viva!
Fellow Democrats, all protocol observed. It gives me great pleasure this morning to welcome you all to our nation's capital, the DA-led city of Tshwane. Amandla.
Awethu.
On Human Rights Day, last month, the Democratic Alliance in Gauteng North flew the LGBTI plus flag at the City Hall. This was a bold step, not only by us as a region, but as a party to demonstrate that we unequivocally stand for all South Africans. This in stark contrast, Democrats, to many of our political opponents who are hell-bent on pointing out our differences, while they do absolutely nothing about the plight of the voiceless and the marginalized. Bangkumbuza loya mama, or say next door, who will never appreciate anything that you do that's good, will always point out what is wrong. But here's the difference, Democrats. While it is easy and fashionable lately to canvass votes and support on our differences, I am especially proud to be part of a political party that envisages one South Africa for all. You see, in our country, there's two South Africas under the ANC government. There is one where people do not account for wrongdoing, like Aboba Tabile, for undermining the state. And there is another one where our kids are dying in pit toilets in their schools. But compatriots, I want to remind you today why this Congress is important. When our country votes for a new government next year, we need to make the choices blatantly clear to all South Africans, that they can have the same old under the ANC or a brighter tomorrow for all under the DA. Amandla. Our country, Democrats, needs us now more than it ever did. And we need to heed that call. 20 days from today, on the 27th of April, we will be celebrating Freedom Day. And as we take decisions in this Congress, we must remember that the DA is the only party committed to providing all South Africans with freedoms they can actually use. So as I conclude, Democrats, let me take this opportunity to wish us all a successful Congress and a wonderful experience in our great city of Tshwane. Amandla!
Ladies and gentlemen, South Africans, now to open and constitute our Federal Congress, help me welcome our Federal Chairperson, Athol Trolle!
Welcome to the DA Congress 2018. Our Congress is officially quorate and we are ready for 2019. Are we ready? Are we ready? It is my pleasure today to welcome all of you to our Congress, and especially our federal leader, Mmusi Maimane, and his incredibly supportive wife, Natalie. Natalie.
Yeah.
And while I'm talking about incredibly supportive wives, I'd like to thank Janine for her ongoing support. Today, I want to start with the most important people in this Congress and to thank every DA activist, branch chairperson, councillor, MP, MPL, and for everything you do to grow and represent our party. Another round of applause. I would also like to thank all of your spouses and partners who sacrifice so much family time and resources to support our valiant and honorable cause. I'd like to welcome the media, very important to the prospects of our party. Dibuli Senawa Basi Bugelaya Makaya. Welcome to everybody who's watching this Congress at home. We wish you were here with us. I'd like to thank all the distinguished guests, especially the diplomatic corps and all the very important guests that we've invited today. We must never underestimate how far our cause has brought us. We must trust this cause, we must trust our party, we must trust its values. Oopsie. Because these things have all brought us so far already. But we must never forget that our ultimate objective is to become a government in South Africa. South Africa needs a DA government. South Africa deserves a DA government. We are doing something that has never been done in South Africa before. We are building a political home for all South Africans, and our house is growing. Lianda ikaya letu. Masili kusele. We need now more than ever to believe in our cause, trust ourselves to carry on. We've achieved so much. We are a party of government. I would like to welcome Premier Helen Zille and her executive. I would like to welcome and say thank you to our host mayor, Solim Simanga, and the neighboring mayor, Herman Mashaba. You guys are doing incredible work. And then all the other mayors and all their mayoral committee and all the councillors, thank you for enhancing our brand. We get a lot of political stick and criticism from all quarters, some expected and some unexpected. From our political opponents, the ANC stroke EFF, who are getting more and more desperate and vocal. Their opposition is laced with more and more racial invective. Hi! Bayasi Kela, Bayasi Kleka, Bayasi Tuka, Bayasi Zonda, Bayasi Delela, Asibasabi, Siabafuna, Asibasabi, Siabafuna. Hoe meer desperaat hulle word, hoe erger raak hulle gedrag. Die weerspieëling is chaos, die chaos wat ons onlangs in Nelson Mandela Bay gesien het. The onslaught in Nelson Mandela Bay was to be expected. We dealt them the most painful blow. Ons het hulle onder die belt geslaan in Nelson Mandela Bay. But I want us all to understand that they're not going to stop in Nelson Mandela Bay. They're going to take that fight to every one of our municipalities. Why are we experiencing this onslaught? Because we continue to grow, and more people like you are seeing their future and the future of South Africa under a blue government. I'd like to leave you with this passage that I was given when we started our campaign 18 months before the 2016 election in Nelson Mandela Bay. And I want to read it to you because it inspired me then, it kept me going then, and we were successful, and it inspires me on a daily basis. It is a reading from Isaiah 43, 18 to 19. Listen to what it says. Forget about what's happened. Don't keep going over old history. Be alert. Be present. I'm about to do something brand new. It's bursting out. It's bursting out. Do you see it? There it is. I'm making a road through the desert and rivers in the Badlands. Maar sis Tembe, ons moet on onsself glo. Ons kan dit bewerkstellig slegs as ons onsself glo. If we believe that we can build rivers in the Badlands and roads in the desert, then more and more people will believe us, and more people will bring us to government in 2019. I look forward to having Mmusi Maimane as the President of South Africa. Welcome to Congress.
The beauty about the Democratic Alliance is that when we talk of diversity, we don't just talk. We have delegates from all across South Africa. We have provinces in all their different rights governing, representing South Africa and sharing the message of one nation, one future. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to have our flag ceremony, and to welcome you onto the stage are all the provinces and the ancillary structures within the DA, because even outside our provinces, our ancillary structures do the most and we value them. The first province to join me is a province we're all excited to have. It is Mpumalanga! Democrats to attention for the national anthem.
From the economic heart of South Africa, the city of gold, Egoli, comes a man tired of seeing the city ruined by decades of mismanagement and looting. He bravely stood up to save his beloved Dorsey. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Johannesburg's very own mayor, Ntate Herman Mashaba.
Herman Mashaba, aye, hoi, hoi, Herman Mashaba, hoi, hoi. Eita, Herman Mashaba, eita.
Fellow Democrats, Sanbonani, good morning. Goeiemorgen, Dumelang, Molweni. Democrats, as a father, when I look back on my childhood growing up in poverty in Garamutse, Hammanskraal, I'm struck by how difficult it must have been for my mother, who was a widow, to leave a young family during our formative years to go find work in our cities. The small salary that my mother earned as a domestic worker could not possibly cover all the needs of my brother, my 3 sisters and I. Her salary barely met the cost of transport from Johannesburg to Pretoria, let alone school fees. So, for our family, like many others, every day was a struggle. I'm grateful that when my mother reached her 70s, she died owning a home of her own. But I know too well that many South Africans still do not have the dignity of a good job or a real chance to be part of an economy with able title deeds. That is why, Democrats, I'm so intent on making Johannesburg a city of golden opportunities. To get Johannesburg working, it started with addressing the city's rampant legacy of corruption. Under our DA-led government, corruption is public enemy number 1. To do this, we set up a dedicated anti-corruption unit, and we have uncovered almost 17 billion rands worth of corrupt activities inherited from the previous ANC government. We cannot tolerate rampant crime plaguing our communities. To address this, we have recruited 1,500 new quality GMP training officers. We have launched the K9 Narcotics Unit, which is chasing down the drug dealers and waging war on the drug trade in our city. Municipal courts are coming soon to force our bylaws and bring back the rule of law. We must achieve a professional civil service as a prerequisite for success. Democrats, to clean up our city so that they are clean as the streets of Kigali. We have launched RSebetseng volunteer cleaning campaign. Every month, thousands of our residents come out on Saturdays to clean up, build a city that we can all be proud of. Residents in Jozi have waited far too long to receive the basic services needed for a life of dignity. So, we are spending 50 million rands in bringing electricity to Slovo Park informal settlement. And Democrats, work is underway to upgrade 51 more informal settlements over the next 3 years. We will turn the inner city of Johannesburg into a place of low-cost affordable housing and small business place for our residents. We will create the inner city into a vibrant, diverse heartbeat of our city. Every mother should be able to take a sick child to the clinic. Democrats, when Mrs. Maziko, a resident of Princess Park Informal Settlement, asked me to help a sick child, I approached council for the funding to extend clinic hours. Luckily, there was a huge budget available for the previous ANC mayor to travel abroad. As I had no intention to waste our people's money on unnecessary travel, we used that money to fund extended clinic hours at Mrs. Maziko's local clinic. Since then, we have extended operating hours of 13 clinics in communities across the city so that more residents can access healthcare in the evenings, on weekends, and on public holidays. I believe that you cannot fight Johannesburg drug problem without providing job opportunities to all. We have successfully launched the Tladi Community Substance Abuse Treatment Center in Soweto. And we are opening 4 more clinics to addicts and their families We are also focusing on creating jobs for our people. We have launched the first of the 14 opportunity centers to empower Johannesburg entrepreneurs and unemployed youth through skills training, access to funding and markets, and help with completing tender documents. Every month, Democrats, 1,250 small businesses get support from our city, because Johannesburg must continue to be the economic engine of our country. Our DA-led government is doing everything we can to stimulate the economy and create jobs. We work hard every day for families in our poorest communities, because life is still far too difficult for our mothers, our fathers, and our children, because we all deserve to be part of an economy and receive good services from our government. And because opportunities in Johannesburg must belong to all of us. Tate Maimane and the DA family, long live. Long live.
Yeah.
South Africa.
Long live.
29 is around the corner. We need to see Tate Maimane being the president of this country. Viva Musi Maimane.
Viva.
And thank you, Democrats, for allowing us this opportunity to be your government in some parts of our country. Thank you very much to all South Africans who have given us, as the DA, an opportunity to be your government. We are here not as public servants to steal your money. We are here to serve you, and we will serve you with pride. And that is what we are doing in the city of Johannesburg. Thank you very much, Democrats. Enjoy our Congress, because I know it's going to be successful. We're looking forward to a successful 2 days. Thank you very much, and enjoy the period. Thank you.
Hoi hoi, Hemen Mashaba, hoi hoi. Hoi hoi.
During her 4 years as national spokesperson of the DA, this dynamic woman represented the party ngokuzithoba with commitment and poise. In the fight to expose state capture, this fearless DA MP stood up bravely and made her voice heard, taking down Bell Pottinger, the London-based firm that sought to divide our nation. Imbokodo, the one, the only, Phumzile Vandam.
Viva Phumzile Vandam, viva! Wathinta abafazi.
Wathinta imbokodo. It is so lovely to be here today, to be here with South Africans from every single corner of the country. South Africans who have traveled long distances, driven by a love for our nation and common values that unite us as the Democratic Alliance. Our values are the glue that holds us together despite our differences in race, gender, culture, sexual orientation, and all the beautiful differences that make South Africa's people special. We are a party united in diversity. We are a party united in building a South Africa that belongs to all who live in it. We must therefore stand united as a party against those who seek to divide us, especially those who seek to divide us on race. Let those political parties know who trade on pitting South Africans against each other that they will not succeed. South Africa will defeat you. Your attempts to foster hatred between us will fail.
Viva!
We also send a warning now to those companies who no doubt will come knocking as the 2019 election beckons to peddle their digital dark arts. We say, take heed of what's happening to Cambridge Analytica. Ask the company formerly known as Bell Pottinger what happens when you manipulate South Africans. As we know, Bell Pottinger, paid by the Guptas, ran a PR campaign that attempted to divide and conquer South Africa. It did so by exploiting racial divisions in our country. It did so in order to keep Jacob Zuma and the ANC in power. It was the people of South Africa who first stood up and made it clear, not on our doorstep. And then the people of South Africa met them with the fearless spirit that make the people of our beautiful country. Ours as a democratic alliance was to ensure accountability. And so we took the fight to London and defeated Bell Pottinger in their own backyard. We say to companies who specialize in the digital dark arts that aim to exploit and manipulate voters that there will be zero tolerance for underhanded tactics in the digital space. You will be caught and you will be held accountable. In my role in Parliament, I will make it my goal to ensure that there's better protection of personal data on social media platforms, so what happened in the US election does not happen here. We will also join in taking the fight to companies like Twitter, who must ensure that their problem with political propaganda bots is dealt with. Bots pose a serious threat to our democracy in their use as conduits or amplifiers of disinformation and fake news in order to manipulate voter opinions. Fake news websites similarly pose a threat. We will be appealing to the IEC to take the technological threats to our democracy seriously or run risk of an election that may not be free and fair. South Africa, we say, let the 2019 election be a festival of ideas. An election where each political party brings to their table their plan to build a better South Africa. Let it be about persuasion and not manipulation of voters. I look forward to joining the DA as we embark on our 2019 campaign to persuade voters to vote DA. We will do so ethically through hard work and toil to win the hearts and minds of the beautiful people of our country. Viva DA, viva!
Viva!
Viva Maimane, viva!
Viva!
Oza 2019, Oza!
Oza!
Sieza Lapo Cyril Ramaphosa, Sieza!
Sieza!
Thank you very much.
Viva DA, viva! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the way from Nelson Mandela Bay. He makes it lekker, he marked it lekker. I give you LEP!
Twane, what's up, let's go! Sige lang bigyan Afrikaans! Ja, zij jij, en mijn broer man is de winner predicament. Kom ik zie je van de andere kant je kiemelen. Ik like two man de noedels maar ik ieder ding en kiemelen de winkel. Sing je wat om die kanan, roep bij olie boe bij bij zo kan je maat. Van die kalaf man ze zang altijd aan de draad. Als ik een goeie blinken dikke voor mijn vrij kijk, diep man mijn ogen zo ze zijn geen vrij man. Auw, hoe snaak is je brother? En dan was ik op mijn vrouw zeg je nog iets anders. Laat die zijn van als bras van brother dan. Ook zij zo zij terug kijk brother ik, kijk maar weg. Van mij die krullen, er komt eens aan die buiten lijkt ze hit broer op mij braas en praat mij bang. Met dat ik wat ze wijs als lekker tijd. Away, van daar die kunst meer. Ja, ik ga jou roei. Away, ik ben klaar om wat ze voor me. Ik ga jou krijgen. Hey, als jij wil leer, kom maar bij mij. Ja, jij nog een tijd. Hier, als lekker tijd. Away, van daar die kunst meer. Ik ga jou roei. Away, ik ben klaar om wat ze voor me. Ik ga jou krijgen. Hey, als je wil leer, kom maar bij mij. Je nog een tijd. Check. Nou Borak serious. Hoe kom het man to sound when you get tears? This is very unhygienic now. Kimlen, why must you be like us? Ik zeg, I just want my child, let me go you. I like a shot of nothing now, oh yeah. Wat gaan met jou? I just wanna step now. Now if you really want it, why did you come fit shit? Ik zeg, Kim, oh op, ik wil eet. Kom eet my alibi, ik gereed. Ga dan, ik heb dit even s'nachts zo goed in nie. Nou oké is het, Kim is de swinkie. Ik grijp die pak, maar ze grijp mijn arm. Aan de arm om mijn nek, ze wil mij vastdruk, brother. Ik hou mijn hand op mijn lip op de cover. Lekker lopen zo zijn over hij swinkie, brother. Ze is klein sterk, brother, je moet check. Ik smaak aan islam, zo wat maak ik. Trap maar wat doen, braas, dan wat ik stip. Doe wat ik net, als lekker zij, lekker zij. Hey, ik smaak jou roei. No worries, ik ben klaar om wat ze van mij. Ik ga jou krijgen. Hey, als jij maar lekker om hou met mij. Ja, lekker. One more time, als lekker zij. Alright, wat praat ik met ze weer mij. Ik smaak jou roei. No worries, ik ben klaar om wat ze van mij. Ik ga jou krijgen. Ja, als jij maar lekker om hou met mij. Je mag het draaien. Ik loop joint toe en voel zoals een spijkou. Want je zegt mij nooit nog een pauw zo zijn nou. Krijg me goed die langs je paard die man lijkt roer. Wij spreken over samen maar we gewoon kwijt koop. Wij zijn nee, oh mijn broer. Moet niet zwak komen, ik zie een kom mijn broer. Wij zijn oké, wij zijn niet trot mijn broer. Als een zaak komt, ga ik bij de blok voor jou. Kom maar, niemand bij die counter. Roem me en ik zeg nee, ik gooi je anker. Hij wil een squash laten zien, ik van een showtkap. Ik heb hem en ik zeg ook raak maar cobra. Druk die sleeps en die lollies aan mijn zak. Doe me een noedels en mijn broekie bij mijn bak. Ik had de bakje eindjes, doe wel eens aan mijn bak. En all of a sudden we're in the car. I hold the X to it next to it. Wees een wat maak in mijn broer maak op. Hij wees mijn voet die moet die blijft secure. Die alias lekker zijn, lekker zijn. Auwee, wat praat ik met ze weer bij. Ik smaak jou roei. Hey, hey, hey. Ik ga jou krijgen. Hey, als jij maar lekker om hou bij mij. Jij doet het. One more time, is lekker zijn. Auwee, wat praat ik met ze weer bij. Ik smaak jou roei. No worries, ik ben klaar om wat ze van mij. Ik ga jou krijgen. Ja, als jij maar lekker om hou bij mij. Ja, jij doet het. Mijn naam is Alibi, lekker zijn.
From the Western Cape, where the voters have trusted the DA with good governance, job creation, redress, and service delivery for the poor. In the city of Cape Town since 2006 and the provincial government from 2009, Manene Namanenekazi, please welcome a man who cares for the poor, a cheerleader for the youth, the Western Cape provincial leader, Udada Bonginkosi Matikizela.
Climb up the va, climb up the va, climb up the TSVA. I'm a vanity leafy. Climb up the TSVA. Good morning, Democrats. Climb up the TSVA. I'm a vanity leafy. Climb up the TSVA. Thank you, colleagues, thank you. Good morning, Molweni, Goeiemorgen, Democrats. It's an honor for me to stand here as the leader who's coming from the only province that is governed by the DA. Where as the DA, we are able to show the DA difference. I want to start by thanking the leader, Musima Imane, who led the Day Zero campaign. All of us are aware that in Western Cape, we are facing the worst drought ever. particularly in the city of Cape Town. And colleagues, during the times of crisis, people want to see their leaders. And that is why it was very, very important for the leader, Mmusi Maimane, to lead that Day Zero campaign. And partly because of that, many people from Cape Town heeded the call. They have reduced water consumption. We are able to say, if we can continue doing that, we can avoid Day Zero this year. Thank you very much, leader. Colleagues, I just want to say one or two things about the DA government in the Western Cape, because I am here to share with you some of the things that we are doing differently as the DA. We are aware that the hottest topic currently is the land issue. And in the Western Cape, we have shown under the DA where we have 62% success rate compared to the 90% failure rate of the ANC government nationally. Because what we are doing differently in the Western Cape, we allow people who are working on the land to partner with those who have skills and financial assistance so that land can continue to be productive. The second thing that we are doing in the Western Cape, while the EFF and the ANC want South Africans to be the tenants of the state, we are making sure that people are getting title deeds in the Western Cape. Up to date, colleagues, we have issued 91,000 title deeds in the Western Cape. Also in the Western Cape, when we took over, we wanted to make sure that we do three things. We grow the economy, we create jobs, but also improve in our education. As I'm talking to you now, since we took over in the Western Cape, we have built a whopping 118 schools in the same period where the ANC built only 34 in 9 years. We have also managed to reduce the poor performance in those schools. There were 78 when we took over. We have now reduced those schools to only 19 as I'm talking to you now. People want to invest where the government is governing well. In the Western Cape, if you look at the Auditor General report of last month, it clearly indicated that in the Western Cape we are governing well. 85% of municipalities in the Western Cape received a clean audit. And the second province was this one, where we are now, Gauteng, at a distant 52%. Now, colleagues, that is a DA difference. Since 2009, because of that, we have managed to attract billions of investment, and we have created almost 600,000 jobs in the Western Cape. In the Western Cape, we have the lowest infant mortality rate. We have the highest life expectancy, which means if you're living in the Western Cape, you will live longer. So, colleagues, I can go on and on about the DA difference where we are in government in the Western Cape, but in the interest of time, this is a story for another day. But we're here to say to South Africans, this is what will happen in your province if you make sure that you vote DA come 2019, so that Mmusi Maimane can be the president of South Africa, so that you can feel the DA difference. Viva DA, viva!
Viva!
Ladies and gentlemen, to pay tribute to all the DA representatives and staff members who have lost their lives, while we honor the work that they've done in respect for democracy, please welcome onto the stage the provincial chairperson of the Free State, Mama Annelie Lotriet.
Viva Annelie, viva!
Sanbonani, good morning, Goeiemorgen, Dumelang, Molweni. Nadine Gordimer once said, if you ask, what happens when we die? Why do we die? You are asking, why do we live? We can answer this question in many ways. We live because of our faith and our belief system. We live because life is short and it's a gift. We live because we want to ensure a better future for our children. For the hard-working Democrats who have passed away since the last Congress, one of the answers would certainly be to ensure one South Africa for all. A South Africa where each one of us has access to the opportunities needed to live rich lives, full of potential and the opportunity to be a success. We pay tribute to our colleagues and friends. Their tireless commitment to bringing change to their communities is their legacy, and we honor them here today. Owerstrand Meyer, Alderman Rudolph Smith. Councillor Arthur Adams. Councillor Bruce Essen. Councillor Charlene Hendricks. Councillor Clement Mshlanga. Councillor Cynthia Klassen. Councillor Cynthia Masela. Councillor Dani Swanepoel. Member of Parliament, Dean Smuts. Councillor Dew Singh. Councillor Dirk van der Merwe. Councillor Fani Bum. Councillor Genevieve Cannon. Councillor Gladys Bifadi. Councillor Grace Wille. Councillor Jacob Johannes Josephus. Telefundraiser Jamie Smith. Councillor Jerome Shaw. Councillor Jan Smit. Councillor Johannes Baatjies. Councillor John Heufel. Councillor John Monchu. Councillor John Tabeng. Councillor Joseph Silewu. Councillor Leroy Gierike. Councillor Lawrence de Tooy. Councillor Lucas Mogashua. Councillor Luigi Geiger. Councillor Mandla Mota. Nelson Mandela Bay Regional Manager Marlies van Rensburg. Councillor Mike Hilton. Councillor Pat Collins. Councillor Paulina Sitole. Councillor Petrina Mkonto. Deputy Provincial Leader Pietro Nel. Councillor Philip Masombuka. Councillor Piet Karel de Jaar. Oudtshoorn Mako member Pieter Luiters. Councillor Richard O'Connell. Councillor Sandile Ndlovu. Councillor Shadrach Moreng. Limpopo Provincial Legislature Staff Member Stephen Mbetsi. Member of Parliament Tanya Baker. PPAS Officer Tabiso Apane. Councillor Walter Masuku. And Councillor Zolile Kwanku. We also pay special tribute to the leader of the opposition in Zimbabwe, Morgan Tsvangirai, and anti-apartheid activist and politician, Winnie Madikizela Mandela. Dr. Morgan Richard Tsvangirai waged a long political battle against former President Robert Mugabe in the face of extreme adversity. He sustained severe beatings when the police launched a violent and unwarranted attack on an opposition prayer meeting in 2007. He evaded an assassination plot and was arrested for allegedly threatening public security during his campaign for the 2008 elections. Prime Minister of Zimbabwe from 2009 to 2013, Tsvangirai pushed for robust debate, was a fearless democrat and an inspiration to opposition parties the world over. Tsvangirai stood for the rule of law and fought for the rights of all Zimbabweans. Closer to home, Winnie Madikizela Mandela made enormous sacrifices to liberate the people of South Africa. Forced to raise her and Mandela's two daughters alone, Winnie endured brutal harassment, arrests, hellish interrogations and bannings. She spent 17 months in solitary confinement with only a blanket, a mat, bucket and a mug. But Winnie remained determined to realize her vision. From her years as a trained social worker until the end of her life, she continued to fight for justice and equality. We honor our colleagues here today. Winnie Madikizela Mandela, Morgan Tsvangirai, and our beloved colleagues leave Southern Africa a stronger democracy and will be sorely missed. Thank you.
All the way from the Eastern Cape, from a city that was named after Utata Welilizwe, Nelson Mandela Bay, comes a man that fights against corruption and fights for better services and jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a man who's working hard to bring real change to the people of Ebai, the mayor of Nelson Mandela Bay, Utata Athol Trollip.
Early 2016, a fleet of buses sat in an exposed storage facility with broken windows and damaged tires. These buses were supposed to make up a world-class public transport system, a legacy of the 2010 Soccer World Cup. Yet as the years went by and billions of rands were wasted, there they sat. Nelson Mandela Bay was in an appalling state. There were 5 municipal managers, each failing to meet their targets. The ANC mayor was caught up in a serious corruption case, with the FBI allegedly bribing officials to host the Soccer World Cup. And services like sanitation and transport were abysmal. The amount of bucket toilets had not even halved since 1994. But then on the 3rd of August 2016, the residents of our city took their destiny in their own hands by voting for change and electing a DA-led coalition government. The people of Nelson Mandela Bay ushered in a new beginning. This coalition government on our promise to make Nelson Mandela Bay an opportunity city, a safe city, an inclusive city, a caring city, and a well-run city that is forward-thinking. I said in August 2016 that Nelson Mandela Bay would be run according to our constitution and the laws of our land. I also said that we would keep politics out of the administration and the administration out of politics. This has by and large been achieved. I believe that this coalition government has succeeded in disproving the propaganda that we would replace people of a certain race and replace them with people of another race, and that apartheid would be reintroduced. The Democratic Party, Democratic Alliance, is a party for all South Africans, and we prove it every single day with good governance and a commitment to fighting corruption and crime in our city. A DA government ensures that those implicated in corruption face the full might of the law. 12,000 residents have started to get access to running water and flush toilets for the first time in their lives. 5,500 jobs have been created through the expanded public works program with no favoritism. We have started the process of removing bucket toilets for good, eradicating close to 8,000 bucket toilets and replacing them with dignified sanitation with the goal of completely removing them. We have launched the first ever Metro Police department with properly trained officials. We have got 2 Metro Police precincts in the areas that are faced with the highest crime. Furthermore, we collaborate with the South African Police Services, and we are pushing back the criminals and gangsters in our city. And whilst the previous administration made residents wait for years and years to get a public transport system, we have launched the integrated public transport system with a new and secure service and a bus depot. With good governance and commitment to fighting corruption, our DA-led municipality is slowly but surely being turned around. After being rated the second least trusted municipality under the previous dispensation, we were rated the second most trusted in just 1 year. But unfortunately, the story doesn't end there. With Julius Malema in their pocket, Ramaphosa's ANC is set to overshadow this new beginning. They will stop at nothing to return power to the ANC. And with that will come the chaos and corruption of the old administration. Together, the ANC and the EFF conspired to reject our adjustment budget to stop us from delivering essential services. They tried to ensure that there would be no new vehicles for the Metro Police to fight crime, no new lights on high-risk streets to make people safe at night, no more new pipes or maintenance, no eradication of the bucket system, no tarred roads near the Red Location Museum, no more security officials hired, and together they supported a baseless motion to remove me and my staff from government. A city that has so much going for it for the first time in years suddenly faces taking 10 steps back. We will never allow that to happen. Perseverance and commitment paid off when the adjustments budget was taken back to council for the second time on the 29th of March when we were set to be removed. It didn't happen. In fact, what happened then is we passed our adjustment budget. Despite the ANC and the AFF's new attempt to steal the city, and my colleagues and our staff continue to hold our heads high, and we continue to work for the people of Nelson Mandela Bay. Ours is a DA-led government that truly cares for the people. A DA-led government committed to stopping corruption, delivering services, and creating jobs, in stark contrast to the ANC-led administration intent on lining their own pockets and stomachs with the people's money. Every day we prove that by working with other political parties, we can turn around parts of South Africa that are in an appalling state. We can bring total change that will unite our people in realizing one South Africa for all. Thank you very much for your support during these difficult times in Nelson Mandela. We could never have survived it without your messages and prayers. Siyabulela.
Viva Tiei, viva! Aye, Federal Congress, aye. Ladies and gentlemen, Welcome on stage, your summer award-winning Pretoria homeboy and captain, Cat Darren!
Captain! Captain!
In my droom was daar 'n girl soos jy, maar jy was ver te mooi vir my. Daar was 'n eiland vol meisies en bikinis, en almal lyk soos jy, en dit was mooi vir my. You gonna sing it with me? A captain, Spanish sailor, captain, science trainer. Nobody summer come, the woody song, my side, for my lady. A captain, Spanish sailor, captain, science trainer. Nobody summer day, it's like a season, oh, 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 take off the mic. Het was net ek en jy, ons het mekaar by die deur al gekry. Daar was 'n eiland vol kinders by die see, maar almal lyk soos jy, en dit was mooi vir my. Gaan 'n bietjie saam met my sing. The captain, Spanish sailor, a Spanish sailor, captain, science trainer. Nobody saw my name, it's like a sea saver. Oh, 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 save up for my captain, ek wens jy wil my hoor. Oh, no, captain, ek wens jy wil. Ek gaan my droom verloor. Yeah, yeah, captain, the Spanish sailor, captain, science trainer. Nobody saw my goal, the woody song, my side, for my lady. A captain, Spanish sailor, captain, science trainer. Nobody saw my lady, it's like a sea saver. Oh, 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 save off the night. Save off the night. Thank you, everyone, okay?
Thank you, Captain! Aye, Captain, aye! Thank you, my Captain, thank you. Thank you, man. Stole the stage.
Hi, Captain.
When the National Director of Prosecutions dropped the 783 charges of corruption against President Jacob Zuma, this DA leader had the audacity to stand up and say that no one is above the law. This courageous man champions the fight against corruption and injustice in our courts. Please welcome onto the stage Federal Executive Chairperson James South.
morning, Democrats. It's great to be here. Thank you very much for that welcome. I'm sorry about my voice. I'm here today to tell you about a remarkable victory. On the 6th of April 2009, Advocate Mokatedi Mshe, the then acting National Director of Public Prosecutions, announced that he had decided to discontinue the prosecution against Jacob Zuma on 789 counts of fraud, corruption, money laundering and racketeering that arose out of his relationship with Shabir Sheikh. Mshe took that decision based on some intercepted conversations which later became known as the spy tapes. Mshe believed that had fatally compromised the integrity of the prosecution. In fact, it was a much simpler case. It gave him an excuse to drop the charges against Jacob Zuma, who was about to become president of South Africa. The very next day, Helen Zille announced and filed papers to review that decision and have it set aside as being irrational. Between 2010 and 2014, we shuttled between the Pretoria High Court and the Supreme Court of Appeal in an attempt to force the National Prosecuting Authority to hand over the spy tapes so that we can show that the decision to drop the prosecution was illegal and irrational. Eventually, in August 2014, the Supreme Court of Appeal ordered the National Prosecuting Authority to hand over the spy tapes, and we were able to start with the substantive review of the decision to discontinue that prosecution. But again, Jacob Zuma's lawyers ducked and dived. The case should have been heard early in 2015. Eventually, it was late in 2016 that the Pretoria High Court full bench said that, and it concluded that Mshe's decision was irrational and unlawful and set it aside. Unsurprisingly, Zuma and the National Prosecuting Authority appealed again to the Supreme Court of Appeal. The case was set down for 2 days, but by lunchtime on the first day, the National Prosecuting Authority conceded that their appeal had no merit. Shockingly, up until now, you have been funding Jacob Zuma's legal bills to the cost of 15.3 million rands. And we have taken that decision as well on review. There's no way that the South African taxpayers should be paying that bill. But whatever happens, this has been a victory for the rule of law. It has been a resounding vindication of the independence of our courts, which have consistently seen through the sham defenses and glib justifications by Zuma's legal team. More than anything else, this case has been about a very simple principle, that no matter how powerful or well-connected or well-resourced a person is, we're all equal before the law. Establishing this has been worth the nearly 10 years of legal battles and the millions of rands that we have spent on them. And yesterday, ex-President Zuma appeared in the dock of the Durban High Court. The DA has ensured that justice prevailed. And I would like to thank you, the members of this party, for your faith in our program of ensuring that South Africa is governed in terms of the rule of law and with an independent judiciary. Thank you very much.
In our capital city rose a leader from humble beginnings, a man who saw a city fed up with the violent and arrogant ANC, a true son of Atteridgeville and mayor of the city that entrusted the DA to make a difference. Bomme le Bontate, please welcome onto the stage the mayor of Tshwane, Ntate Soli Msimanga.
Dumelang. Sanbonani, Absheni, Lochani, Dimacheroni.
Yes.
Goeiemorgen. A great honor to have all of you here this morning. As a son of Atteridgeville, I come from humble beginnings. Growing in a shack, I know what the struggle is all about. No one in my family had a degree. No one believed in my family that we'll one day have a decent education or even get a decent job. But I had a dream of a better life for myself and for my family. I walked for kilometers to school every day and worked at a local spaza shop, pouring paraffin into bottles and packing chips to scrape together a few rands to keep my family going. When I qualified to go to university, I worked as a waiter. Some days I had to walk all the way from Linwood to Mamelodi or from Mamelodi to Linwood just to get to work. When I had no cash for transport, I would get home late at night to study for exams the very next day. It was hard, I won't lie. There were times where I wanted to give up. But these experiences taught me to persevere. These experiences taught me to be the man that I am today. The man that is willing to do more for South Africa. The man that is willing to do more for the Democratic Alliance. As a child roaming the dirty streets, no one believed that one day I will be standing here being called the #1 citizen of the capital city of South Africa. But through hard work and sheer determination, here I am. With my every waking moment, I am dedicating my life and I am dedicated to creating a better life for the people of Tshwane, my people, the VIP. And not only the people of Tshwane, the people of Gauteng, the people of every other province, the people of South Africa. When I first took office, I was sick. I was sickened by the waste I saw. People's money, our money, that has been used to buy luxury cars, expensive flights, and to pay salaries of branch members who did nothing to improve the lives of our people. My first commitment was to put a stop to all of this and to sell the Merrill Mansion, using the money to build homes for the poor. I tell you right now, you are going to see a black family staying next to a white family, staying next to a colored family, staying next to an Indian family, and because they deserve, not because they are card-carrying members of an organization. And so, I say to you, every person deserves the dignity of a job and a home they can call their own. And so I said to create 23,000 new job opportunities for residents and to speed up the title deed delivery, giving residents ownership of a property they can one day pass on to their children and the following generations after that. And that, to me, is real empowerment in the real sense. I was motivated to keep going when Mesalome Vivian from Venterveld told me that her community fought for over 24 years to receive their title deeds. But that, to God's glory, their leaders started hearing their cry and they communicated with us. And we, with the MMC for housing, and within 8 months, we ensured that the community received all their title deeds. I've also been inspired by a young man from Soshanguve who lost both her parents at a young age and had become a taxi driver to survive. But a few months ago, he qualified as a civil engineer. That is what makes us as South Africans so special. The sheer determination to overcome any obstacle in our way. But I also believe we have a duty to give all that we can to make sure that South Africa becomes a better place that we'll be able to hand over to the future generation. I want to say to all of you that I've also given an opportunity to our informal traders by creating the Mayor's Informal Trader Bursary Fund to help informal traders get the education they need to survive against poverty, against joblessness. And I'm proud to tell you that as I'm talking to you right now, we've already sent our first batch who are studying in tertiary education facilities right now. Many people are not as lucky as my friend from Soshanguve. Too many of our young people succumb to the life of drugs and crime as they see no way out of the hopeless situation they find themselves in. Through my Operation Solopele, I've declared war on drugs. I have set up a city-funded program to help addicts overcome addiction and face their social and psychological challenges with the aim of helping them find work too one day. About 2,500 people have been helped so far, with many more to come through this program. And because I know firsthand what it means to struggle, I have also written off almost 400 million rand of debt for poor residents who couldn't afford to pay for their municipal bills, as well as ensuring that we also get those that are not paying to pay for the services that they are receiving. I've inherited the 2 billion rand debt from the previous administration. We have turned this around in only 1 year, and I'm proud to sit here and tell you that in 1 year, we have turned a 2 billion rand deficit into 700 million rand in the bank, and we have an unqualified audit while we're doing that. I'm inspired by the Western Cape, who are governing all by themselves. But more specifically, I'm inspired by the city of Cape Town, who have a 2/3 majority in government, which makes it easy for them to do what they need to do. We need to aspire to do that in all the municipalities that we govern. We have to govern on our own so that we can give people the dignity that they deserve. We have much more to do before we can say we have truly turned around the lives of our people. But as I can assure you right now, just as I fought to overcome my life's difficulties, as a young man, as somebody with energy, I will dedicate my life to ensuring that the people of Tshwane, the people of South Africa, have a better life going forward. This is just but the beginning for the people of Tshwane and for the people of Gauteng. Next year, we will bring total change to the people of Gauteng, the people of other provinces, and the people of South Africa in totality. Amandla! Amandla! Viva Musimaiman, viva!
Viva! Viva TI, viva! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on stage. And they are really going to own this stage. I give you Soweto Finest!
Issue. Soweto's Finest. Okay, asjive. Lights off. Soweto's Finest.
Alcohol in the leather. She, you got in the feather. She, credit card in the scammer. She, he didn't want big summer feather. She, like it says, feather. What is it to come up? Go in there, that's it. 1, 2, 3, 6. Oh, shit. Shit. Cheers. Hey, it goes you. Oh, shit. So what's the finest? Who's here? So much good. Relax, albaki mathada.
Stop! Iy'phuzo ziyabanja. Awuthengi next. Ingane ziyababa. Awusheli muntu. Yenzani iyasho le shu. Ona style wena. Ziyawa siyajiva. Shi awenzi into drive. Awushele wena enhle uzele. Anginizwa uzele. Anginizwa uzele. Ziyawa kumnandi wena yes. Anginizwa uzele. Anginizwa uzele. Anginizwa uzele. Here babe defender, Tiva Livonda. We go by the name of Sowetos Finest. Thank you.
They first met in church and became friends. From different sides of society, they fell in love, united in their faith and love for the people of South Africa. She is the wife of our leader, the mother of their 2 children, Kgalaledzo and Daniel. Together, they share the dream of building a better South Africa for all. Democrats, please help me welcome onto the stage Natalie Maimai.
Aha! DA, aha!
Good morning, Democrats. I have been asked to speak about Mmusi Maimane, the husband and the father. This is, in fact, a very simple task that I've been given, because for me, it gives me the chance to publicly honor the man who, above all else, is my best friend. Mmusi and I met at church when I was 15 years old, and Mmusi was a 19-year-old youth pastor. This year in August, we will celebrate 13 years of marriage. And what an amazing journey it has been. It was in fact while Musi was a pastor, speaking at an event for a few hundred young people, searching for their purpose, that I watched Musi receive his own call to purpose. For me, that night was a picture of our lives moving forward. It was a night held in a church hall, a place of worship, where Musi was serving the young people of South Africa with his own ability, where he came to realize that serving the people of South Africa was what he was made to do. For Musi and I, our faith is the cornerstone of our commitment to our nation. It made so much sense to me that he would feel called to politics in a church. Scriptures teach us that Jesus was a true example of a servant leader. His purpose was to free those who were oppressed, to bring justice to the vulnerable and those living in poverty, and to bring acceptance to those who were outcasts of their own culture. As young people, we used to run a holiday club over the July break. It was held in a community that, as is typical in South Africa, was wedged between a very wealthy housing estate and a number of informal settlements. Musi had the vision to offer a week-long experience to children from all of those communities at the highest standard for no cost or a voluntary donation. We had food, clothes, sporting equipment, transportation, jumping castles and climbing walls donated to entertain children from Monday to Friday and to take care of their real needs in the months beyond. But that young man with such vision wasn't satisfied with a few months' worth of provision for children in under-resourced communities. That young man saw the need for lasting changes to be made. We were married only a few short years when Musi ventured into business consulting. The corporate world was unfamiliar territory, but it was his hope that those on the forefront of building the economy could also be on the forefront of sustainable economic development. There were some companies who saw the value in widening economic access, but a great deal more that were not prepared to share the pie. Again, that young man grew discontented with the prospect of an economy which in the future would still not address the great wealth disparities created by our past. After that night in that church, Musi enrolled for his master's in public administration and development at Gibbs. He took a particular interest in the modules that centered around economics, and he began to put in the academic hard yards that would provide support for his passion to serve our nation. In that time, we started a family, and that young man became a father. And if anything reinforces vision for a nation, it is the reality of one's own children growing up in it. Seeing Musi as a father has been one of the great delights of my heart. As a dad, he is present, connected, loving, and he inspires our children to dream. In this world of politics, which does not sleep, I would encourage you to discipline yourselves to be present when you are with those who love you. They are your first constituents. Remember to serve them first, for they will be your strength for the significant work you each need to do to keep taking our nation forward. The vision our family sacrifices for, the vision we as a couple live to see a reality, is a vision that Musi Maimane has carried in his heart from even before I met him as a 19-year-old youth pastor. It is the vision of a South Africa that protects the faith of all of its people, provides a platform for the dreams of all of its children, with an economy that is accessible to all of its people, and underpinning all this, a government whose highest value is to serve its citizens. It is with confidence and absolute unwavering support that I can affirm we are led.
The provinces are all in here. Are you all awake? I cannot hear you. Are you all here? Western Cape, where are you? Hey, I can't hear you. Western Cape, hello? Western Cape, who do you endorse as your leader of the Democratic Alliance?
Ek as a layer van die Weskaap. Ek nomineer Mmusi Maimane.
Halala.
Wag asseblief. Ukuba abe ngumgqatswa wethu. Akhokhele lelizwe ngo-2019. Xa sinohulumende we-Democratic Alliance. Siyabulela.
Eastern Cape, where are you? Eastern Cape! I cannot hear you, Eastern Cape! Eastern Cape, who do you endorse as the leader of the Democratic Alliance? Isafuta Geneva!
Viva DA, viva!
Viva!
Ndingunqababhanga inkokheli ye-Democratic Alliance eMpuma Koloni. Ndiphakamisa utata uMmusi Maimane njengenkokheli ye-Democratic Alliance apha eMzantsi Afrika. Ndinyukela ngengalo. Ndimphakamisa njengomgqatswa kamongameli kunyulo luka 2019. Viva Mmusi Maimane, viva! Viva! Masweni yo! Aye masweni yo! Aye masweni ayo! Aye masweni yo!
There's a princess in the house.
Viva DA, viva! Viva!
Who do you endorse, Jolo Kamwekamedi Walwen of the DA?
Mmusi Maimane. Nna Patricia Kopane, boemeding ba moifo wa ka wa Freistata. Ke kgetha ntate Mmusi Maimane ho ba moetapele wa Democratic Alliance. Ibile ibe nkgetheng mabapi le ho ba mopresidente wa South Africa dikgethong tse tlang tsa 2019. Viva DA, viva!
Viva! Viva DA, viva! Viva!
Mpumalanga! Ngativilela Yiniza!
Viva!
Viva! Mpumalanga, are you awake?
We are ready!
Who do you endorse as the leader of the Democratic Alliance?
I, Jane Sitole, on behalf of the Mpumalanga delegation, nominate Mmusi Maimane as the leader of the Democratic Alliance and as our presidential candidate for elections 2019.
other people. Northwest. Northwest, hello. Hello, Northwest. Northwest, who do you endorse as the leader of the Democratic Alliance? Come again, I can't hear you.
Dumelang Bahaitso. Kena Omtate Joe Madlua. Kedula ko Northwest Province. Rona Retlopa Omtate Musi Maimani, not only as the leader of the Democratic Alliance, but the presidential candidate for 2019. Roll Musi Maimani, roll! Roll Musi Maimani, roll!
Oh, thank you, Northwest. Limpopo. Ngumfo etu musi ngumfo etu. Limpopo. Hello. Limpopo. Hello.
Hello.
I can't see you.
Hello.
Limpopo, who do you endorse as the leader of the Democratic Alliance?
Indeed.
Limpopo. Limpopo, I can't hear you. Who do you endorse as the leader of the Democratic Alliance?
Ndine, Jacques Smalle, Ndoimela, Voromela, ha Democratic Alliance, Kavundu, Lalempopo, Indicator, Vomusi Maimane, Samoranga Panda, la Democratic Alliance, as well as our presidential candidate for the upcoming 2019 elections, Umusi Dumela.
Umusi Dumela.
Umusi Dumela, 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 yo Dumela. KwaZulu Natal! KwaZulu Natal! Vugani phela nginiboni. Angiboni KZN. Who do you endorse as the leader of the Democratic Alliance? Pinda futhi nginizwe. Aha. I ask again, KwaZulu Natal, who do you endorse as the leader of the Democratic Alliance? Okay, so baya concord abantu bakwaZulu bathi abanalo ilizwi. Okay, imani kancane ngizonceda manje. In the meantime, asiyeni.
Wanyitatalam,
Wadilala.
Bisandasa, Bisandasa, Yoba, Bisandasa, Bisandasa.
Lina lilizi manje. Stand right. Ni right.
Bisandasa, Bisandasa.
Ngiyafika kegini. Ngiyaphinda ngiyabuza. KwaZulu Natal, who do you endorse as the leader of the Democratic Alliance?
Viva DA, viva!
Viva!
Viva DA, viva!
Viva!
Igama lami nguzwakela kwamncwango. Umfana kadlula bedlana, umfana ongenamona. Isifundazwe saKwaZulu-Natal sithi siphakamisa ubaba uMusi Maimane ukuthi aqhubeke asihole, siphinde simphakamise futhi ukuthi asimele okhethweni ngo-2019 njengomuntu ozomongameli wezwe.
Come on Tufiki, awuzwe. Northern Cape. Vosjela. Hello, no, they came. One question. Who do you endorse as the leader of the Democratic Alliance?
Ek, Andrew Louw, nomineer Musi Maimane as ons federale leier en ook as ons presidensiële kandidaat vir 2019, tesame met die afvaardiging van die Noord-Kaap. Sponono, oh, sponono, sponono, yes, sponono, sponon, yes, sponono.
Yes, Bonono. Gauteng! Hello, Gauteng!
Gauteng!
Our host! Woohoo! Musi, 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 Musi. Gauteng! Who do you endorse as the leader of the Democratic Alliance?
Musi Maimane! Namens die Gautengse afvaardiging nomineer ek John Moody vir Musi Maimane as die leier van die Demokratiese Alliansie, asook ons kandidaat vir president van Suid-Afrika in die komende algemene verkiesing van 2019.
Hoya Rona!
Hoya Rona!
Hoya Rona!
Hoya
Rona!
Musi Maimane achechele mungao Goyanguna bapilumsecha kopili.
Democrats, South Africans, now we welcome a giant, a fighter for democracy, a people-centered pillar. He is a man of honor, a husband, a father of two. He fights for us in parliament. He walks with us in our communities. He is with the people. The leader of the Democratic Alliance, the next president of Afrika Bora. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome onto the stage Ntate Musi Maimane.
Hoi hoi, Musi Maimane, hoi hoi! Hoi hoi, Musi Maimane, hoi hoi! Viva Musi Maimane, viva!
Viva!
Eita Musi Maimane, eita!
Eita!
Viva Musi Maimane, the next president of South Africa, viva!
Viva!
Amanda!
Aweto!
Tata Musi Tata!
Amanda! Aweto!
Ere hoya Rona! Hoya Rona! Hoya Rona! Hoya Rona! Hoya Rona! Bapilotse Tata! Ere hoya Rona! Hoya Rona! Hoya Rona! Hoya Rona! Hoya Rona! Bapilotse Tata! Hoya Rona! Hoya Rona! Bapilotse Tata!
Amandla! Man, it feels so good to be here. Dumelang Bagaetso, friends, colleagues, fellow Democrats, Bagaetso Malapeng, Dumela. It is really deeply humbling to be on the stage, on the party's most beautiful, most biggest stage, and I think on the eve of South Africa's most important elections, it fills me with a great deep sense of humility to be here. Ke a leboga. It's also, fellow South Africans, indeed great to be here in the city of Tshwane, the DA-led city of Tshwane, where we are beating corruption and in fact delivering better services and ensuring that this city becomes an even safer city. Brasoli, thank you so much for hosting us here. Re a leboga ngwaneso. And I want to say to you, it's great to see that we are making significant progress here in this city. And I want to also say it's actually great that we are holding this Congress here in Gauteng, the economic heartland of this country, where already we run Midvaal and already we run Johannesburg. And I want to say, Mayor Herman Mashaba, Bongani Baloyi, thank you for your commitment to improving the lives of our people here in Gauteng. Ke a leboga. I love this province. I love it because not only is it as a proud Sowetan, but before Democrats, I want to say, on behalf of the people of Soweto, and I'm sure you'll join me, on behalf of the Democratic Alliance, the people of South Africa, freedom lovers, on the sad passing ya Mama Winnie, a proud Sowetan, and I send her family, Bagoma Digizela, Libagwa Mandela, my deep condolences. Kasesebaka, ke robala ka khotso mme Winnie. Yeah. But it's also a very special province because it's right here where I met my wife. Hey, sorry. I'm sure you just met her now. Makoti wa kwa Maimane. Bana ba bua ba re sambrela samselanga stututu sami. Tambolam le Kentucky. Lerato laka. Ke a mo dumedisa, and I want to thank her for those kind words. Nets, thank you for just your speech earlier on, and thank you for standing beside me in being able to undertake this great task of leading this beautiful movement. I also want to say to my two beautiful kids, Khalalezo, Lekhosi, they are beautiful. And they remind me every single day why we get up to do what we do. They remind me as a father to say, Bona, Araberekeleng, Jagabontate, Lebana, Boboche, Bamo South Africa, Retwelepe. And I want to say to all of you as Democrats, thank you for making it to this Congress. Many of you have traveled far, and I'm most grateful that you've come to join us, and you've covered hundreds of kilometers. Welcome, and I'm really looking forward to this particular Congress. And as I look around this room, I have never felt energy like I feel in this place. I've never felt the urgency to ensure that in fact we get it right. Such an exhilarating prospect of changing the course of history in South Africa. And you who are here are leading that charter. Amandla. I want to say this, that I think everyone in this room is part of something big. Is part of, I don't have to tell you this, I think you can feel it and you know it. Because whilst we are gathered here in Gauteng, I want to say at this Congress, this is the battleground. The future of this country will be determined by what happened here in Gauteng. And I don't know about you, but next year, after the elections, we must put a DA-led government here in Gauteng. The tide is turning. Amandla! Because when we say these things, many people didn't believe us. 7 years ago, we won Midvaal. Baraiba Bafeeli. They went away. that in fact in the August of 2016, we would have the great privilege to be able to lead Johannesburg and put Ntate Herman Mashaba into government. But no, never khonagale. They went away where we would put Solim Simanga as mayor Kotshwane. And as I see what began as a small tide is now beginning to become a tsunami that is sweeping all across South Africa and will continue to sweep in this province as we bring about the change in Gauteng. Forward, Gauteng, forward. I love it. Because Batsurile, I want to tell you, our opponents are so scared because now they are starting to think to themselves, "Ooh, what does it feel like to be in opposition?" Hey, kunzima. Chelete ifedile, everything ifedile, because ba bona gore hey ya no re mo opposition. But Democrats, it's a privilege to lead. It's a privilege to serve in government. And we dare never lead with any form of arrogance. We are to humble ourselves and say we are here to serve the people of South Africa and of Gauteng. But I want to say this to you, next year's election is going to be tough. There'll be many battles, there'll be many insults. They will say things about us because they are nervous. They see that we are winning the battle of ideas. But as Michelle Obama once said, when they go low, we'll go high. Let me say that to you. When they go low, we go high. I'm telling you now, next year they're going to come out with everything. Food parcel, they will come and say things. They will come and intimidate us. And I want to say to every activist of the Democratic Alliance, thank you for your hard work. They come, they intimidate, they threaten us. But what we will be doing is going out there to win the battle of ideas. I want to say this to you, Democrats. They will come and want to divide us on the basis of race and say this party is for black people, that party is for white people. But I'm here to tell you, this party is for all South Africans, black, white, Indian, colored. This is what this party stands for. And maybe before, many people would have said, let us save South Africa because of corruption. But now it's time that we recognize that we are in the fight of our lives to save South Africa from a one-party state that determines nationalism. And it's only this party that can succeed. For if we don't succeed, I don't believe Gauteng will succeed. I don't believe South Africa will succeed. Amandla! So are you ready? I can feel it. I'm ready. Because I want to tell you something beautiful. We're a party that embraces diversity. We're a party that is here that says we are here to challenge for power. I did not join politics to improve the government of the day. I joined politics to remove the government of the day. I hope you're part of that struggle, Democrats.
Thank you, Daddy.
And I want to say we must be a party that builds a home for all South Africans. And I am so proud that many of you have traveled a long road to be here. We stand on the shoulders of so many great South Africans who would look at this hall today and be filled with tears. When I watched that opening ceremony, I was so reminded of the beauty of this party. And I bet you that generation of Helen Suzman, of Jan Steitler, of Colin Eglin, of Zach de Beer, of Frederick van Zyl Slabbert, of Tony Leon, of Helen Ziller would cheer us on and say, let us keep going forward to charter a new ground for South Africa. Amandla! I am proud of that generation for however few they were. They stood against the policies of the apartheid government and recognize that one day the DA will come and govern South Africa the liberal way. Amandla. I am so proud because today I see a party more vibrant and more diverse than ever. Barataba, because we're a beautiful party. We're a South African party. I see a party truly filled with individuals who are proud of who they are and yet recognize that they are part of something greater than themselves. I see a party of patriots who simply refuse to say their destinies must be defined by the way they look, the language they speak, or the God they worship, or ultimately the color of their skin. I see a party where in fact the future of this country belongs. Because right here, right now, we're beginning to write a new history, a new chapter for South Africa, where our legacy will be to bring change to South Africa. I am so proud of each one of you. Ke a leboga. And I want to say, the great thing about the DA is that we're the party that's working all over in every community. And we speak not only for the people gathered in this room, but for the millions of South Africa. This is the DA I see before me. And I batla ke chogere. Uputa tumatikise. Nabantu base Western Cape. Ndiyanibulisa. Ndithi molweni Western Cape. Ek wou net sê baie dankie vir almal wat hier is. You know, when unemployment in the country is going up, it is going down in the Western Cape. You have said, when corruption is going up everywhere in the country, in the Western Cape, they have finished it. Babu Matikizela ndiyabulela enkosi, and you have set such an incredible benchmark for what governance looks like. And I want to know that when next year comes around, the citizens of the Western Cape, bazawuchobati futhi, for the third successive time, we must bring out a majority that will retain the DA in the Western Cape. Khawume ndibuyele ekhaya. Eastern Cape, ninjani kodwa emakhaya? Kaloku Eastern Cape kusekhaya. Ndingumaduna, usidloyi, usijekulu, utiba, ekhaya kusetsomo, ndiyanibulisa apho, nize nonqaba ubhanga, siyabulela ngomsebenzi onuyenzayo, nisibulisele phaa kukumkani, umxelele nizawufika. Awuthi ngibonge ngibulise futhi nalapha abasekhaya abaseKwaZulu Natal nozwakhele emncwango. Yazi niyakhula niyabonisa ukuthi hayi cha manje sekuyi official opposition, nizokhula futhi nibonisa abantu ukuthi niyaphambili. Ngiyabonga babuzwakhele emncwango. Laat ek ook sê vir al die mense van die Noord-Kaap, waar is die Noord-Kaap? Hulle lyk baie mooi. Ek is baie bly dat almal hier is. Ek sal probeer om my Afrikaans laat verbeter, maar ek moet asseblief sê, volgende jaar moet die Noord-Kaap 'n DA regering kry en ons moet seker maak dat dit wat sal gebeur. Batswana ba ko lapeng, ba ko Northwest, dumelang. Rona re Batswana ba kwa Maimane, ba ko Rustenburg. Le re itse sentle mo tlase ga ntate Joe Medlua, ke a le dumedisa ebile ke a le amogela. Tswellang pele. Re tla re ha re heditse hano, re tla re tlo go ja mabele go lona fola utlwa. And then to the province of Limpopo. Ndakhenza. O ka ntate Jacques. Hey, Ntate Jacques, the work that you guys are doing amongst TVET colleges, you've shown growth. Ke re ko Limpopo, ndakhenza. Aye, nda. And ultimately, to the province of Mpumalanga. Hey, noma muchain. Hey, niyakhula. Nizobonisa abantu ukuthi hayi udidi unilahlile laphaya. Maruma muchain ukudalelwa laphaya. So ngisho ngithi riyalocha. And to our friends from the Free State. Halala, Free State, halala. Kimaning katlasa boetele dipele ba mme Patricia Kopane mo ba lwantshang teng mone ha ba hole ke komkeiki ke a leboga mme Kopane ke le lakaletsa mahlonolo e re ke qetele ka mona mo lapeng e re ke province ya ka home ground phela bafethu ha o dlala anywhere la o dlala go pholong you have to have a home ground advantage and I'm at home. John Moody. Bafethu, I want to say to the province of Gauteng, as we go out and win this province, let's make sure or Gauteng is a DA government. As Kubege. Dumela. Fellow Democrats, since our last Federal Congress, our party and our country has changed significantly. And much of this change is thanks to the hard work of the people in this room. And in fact, along with our staff and our activists, I want to especially thank our professional staff for the leadership, for the work that they are doing, and certainly for putting together this Congress. Ndiyabulela. They put in tireless amounts of work, and certainly the people in my office who make sure we carry on the work that we do. Ke a leboga bafethu. I also want to say to all the activists of the DA, corner to corner, house to house, everybody in the DA, your first and foremost obligation is that you are an activist before anything else. Membership wa gago ha o turi, ha gona platinum membership. 10 rand. But I want to say, the DA went from governing 1 metro to now governing 4 metros. More than 16 million South Africans, in fact, wake up every day under a DA government. And during this time, we've extended coalition politics to the national stage. And I want to say to all the parties and coalition partners in South Africa, I extend the friendly hand of constitutionalism, non-racialism, and I want to say to you, let us continue to work together to govern for the people of this country. And I open my hand towards you today. And what must be recognized is that we've had to learn to set aside our differences and to do what is good for the people of our country. It hasn't always been easy. I won't lie to you. At times it's been tough. But I believe without a shadow of a doubt that it is the future of South Africa and it is ultimately democracy in action. Even at times where our partners in government turned against us in the name of racial populism, we've prevailed. And we will continue to prevail because ours is a good fight. Our cause is just and our principles are firm. Democrats, we did battles in the courts where each victory in the fight against corruption that helped secure the freedom of every South African. And 10 years ago, we as a party decided that we will not rest until we make sure that we give Jacob Zuma his dream of a day in court. And I'm grateful to say, thanks to all of your hard work, he had his day in court yesterday. It was only the beginning. There's still more to come, but we will continue that fight. It's not about Jacob Zuma. It's about making sure that everybody is equal under the law. And that principle must be established in South Africa. Whether you are a president or a pauper, you are equal in the law of South Africa. And I want to say it is your victory. I urge you to note the fact that The Guptas may have captured a president who progressively captured the state, but those stole resources from our people. What Bell Pottinger tried to steal was the unity of races among South Africa. They tried to sow the seeds of division that would bring us back to a past we never want to go back to. And I am grateful today that this party stood up and said, no, Bell Pottinger, you are not going to divide us. And you, in no small way, fought that battle and ensure that the PR agency that was hired to divide us is no more, because we will fight for a South Africa for all. And that is your victory. I want to say this to you, Democrats, that our governments in Cape Town and the Western Cape, along with the people of Cape Town, fought very hard to make sure that the taps keep running in a time of the most devastating and the worst drought recorded in history. Democrats, we've set up a journey where we are beginning to clean out the metros. This is indeed a massive and a difficult task. But our mayors are doing it with pride and a commitment that the people of South Africa can expect from what a DA government. We exposed and rooted out corruption. We gave tens and thousands the dignity of owning the home for the first time by giving them title deeds to their homes. We began a journey of electrifying neighborhoods. We're fixing streets. We're sending Metro Police to communities to make sure our communities are safe, and that this is not a home for drugs and gangsters. And when I look back at all that we've achieved, I know that the road is still long, but I want to say, Democrats, I am filled with pride and honor to lead this movement of South Africans who continue to deliver for our people. And ladies and gentlemen, fellow South Africans, 3 years ago, I stood in Nelson Mandela Bay and said, our values will lead us to victory. I said it because although the DA is changing, our values are not. We remain committed to the promotion of freedom, fairness, and opportunity for all South Africans. And in the run-up to this Congress, I noticed that every candidate, in fact, campaigned on the basis of values. I think it's because although we may differ on many things, one thing we agree on is our values. It is our values that unite us. It is our values that allow us to come together from across the country where we have a history that was divided and absolutely painful. It is these values that make us different from every other party. It is why all of us here today celebrate and champion diversity. That is, in fact, that no other party is as diverse as ours. We are united in our diversity, Democrats. And we're showing that. Despite our country's brutal history and yesterday, we can work together to improve everybody's life. Because what apartheid laws may have changed in 1994, its legacy has remained with us. And it's still with us today. We must continue to fight against racism. We're fighting against inequality, and we're fighting against poverty. We are the party that is tearing down the emotional wall between people who were previously divided. And we're doing it without defining people according to the color of their skins. Democrats, for centuries, South Africa has been a battleground of competing racial nationalists. Wherever we've turned, walls were being built and put up between us, separating us. These walls kept us apart, physically and socially. They told us where we could live, where we could grow up, who we could marry, what jobs we could have, who we can fall in love with, and what we couldn't. These are the walls that separate us. And ultimately, Democrats, when there are parties that come and try to divide us and resurrect those walls between us, we ought to be the party and will be the party that is breaking them down. Because when other parties say that black people can only speak for black people and white people can only speak for white people, nothing could be further from the truth. Because in this party, I see South Africans, black, white, Indian and colored, standing up for all South Africans. A one South Africa for all. Amandla! When other parties in fact obsess about power, we'll be obsessing about freedom. The freedom of every South African to be what they want, who they want, and that they can be the best they can be. This week, Democrats, we opened our new offices, our campaign headquarters, Mo Gauteng. And Ribirize Sisbize Nkululeko House, Freedom House, because we believe this is at the core of what we stand for, a fight for freedom. That, in fact, this freedom for the people of our country and the people of our continent can only be achieved, Democrats, by espousing our liberal values. Values that put individuals first. Fellow Democrats, we need to ensure that we build a liberalism in Africa, for Africa. It is a pleasure to welcome here some of our brothers and sisters and leaders from across the African continent. And I especially want to make a special mention to my brother from Botswana, Duma Boko from Botswana, who is here with us today. I pay tribute to the work that we're doing in Africa with our colleagues Hakienda Hachilema in Zambia, and also to my fellow Democrat who passed away last year, Morgan Swangarai, Itilala Ngokolo, comrade. As African liberals, we fight the hard road. We've chosen to stand up against dictators and bullies of all stripe, even when it is politically incorrect to do so. We've chosen to stand up for the free expression of ideas, even when with people with whom we disagree and their views make us angry. We've chosen to promote constitutional democracy at a time when some people are using the excuse as the Constitution as a scapegoat for our society's problems. We've chosen to fight for the principle of equality before the law at the time when powerful people and big men think that they are above the law. And we've chosen to fight against the domination of individuals in the name of community traditions or customs. Yes, Democrats, our communities play a great part in shaping us, but surely they don't determine who we are. Only we can determine who we are. And I want to say this to you. I am a proud black South African, a proud Sowetan. I am a proud Christian. I am a proud son of Xhosa and Tswana parents. But even over above those things, they've helped shape what I've become today. But in the end, I still have a choice to be who I am. Three years ago, Democrats, in my first speech as the DA leader, spoke of being molded by my experiences as a black South African. I said, if you don't see that I'm black, then you don't see me. But equally so, the flip side of this is also true. If all you see is that I'm black, then you equally don't see me. Because my blackness does not add or subtract to my humanity. It doesn't define everything I am. Because I'm secure enough in my blackness to think for myself. And at the end of this life, I will be judged on whether I was a good husband, a loving father, a loyal son, a patriotic South African, someone who made a contribution and studied. And none of these questions are a question that will be defined by my race. But for many people, this is a radical and subversive idea because it is a threat to racial solidarity. It is in fact groupthink. It is a threat to the politics of divide and rule. It is a threat to the old order of doing things. But we dare never allow it to deter us. We must carve out a new agenda for African liberalism. Amandla. As African liberals, we understand that communities, customs, and traditions play an important role in who we are. We recognize the spirit of Ubuntu, botho, gore ke motho ka batho. But as liberals in Africa, we are not colorblind. We understand that racial domination and dispossession of apartheid and colonialism destroyed people's freedom. We want to fix this injustice without ever reducing people to simply the prisons of their race. That is why in the DA, all of us can be here fighting for the same values and the same struggles. Amandla. As African liberals, we understand that poverty is an assault to a person's individual freedom. As Chanua Achebe once said, a hungry person cannot claim freedom. This is why we believe in a social safety net, a welfare that will allow to pull and lift people out of poverty. Fellow Democrats, I stand before you here today and I look at people who will fix our country. The future of South Africa. I know the potential of this party and I know what we can achieve in government. I know that you and I share a vision for South Africa, a more equal South Africa, a non-racial South Africa, a South Africa where the prisons, where people are born into poverty and have been broken down and opportunities are given to them so that they can succeed in life. I know we share a vision that the next generation of South Africans will be better than the previous one. A South Africa where each child is given a world-class education before stepping on into a world that is brimming with opportunities. Fellow South Africans, I believe we share a vision where extreme poverty no longer exists and the unemployment no longer darkens the horizons of millions of our people. But it is not enough that we agree on this vision, just in this room. We have to ensure, and I know it for a fact, that millions of South Africans out there share this vision. They want this vision. They want South Africa to be like that. And our job is to make sure we get that vision to them so that they can continue to bring it. Because I want to tell you, our task is to make sure every South African knows exactly what the DA is and what the DA will do in government. Democrats, you must know you are winning the battle of ideas when your opponents resort only to insults. When they call you names, they speak lies. They say we are a party of apartheid. Hey, we are the only party that is uniting South Africans. Look around you, you will see for yourself. We are a party yamakhuwa because they can see that we are growing in every village and we are growing in townships. They can see hey, all the leaders got DA are puppets of something or another. And that if we were to win an election, we will be replaced by other people. I want to say this unequivocally. Bagaetso, that is absolute nonsense. The truth is, you are never black enough or you are never white enough. We want to tell them we are proud of who we are and we are proud to be part of this movement because all South Africans belong here. Let me tell you what they want. They want black people to remain trapped in the politics of race because this is what keeps them in power. This is the truth, Democrats. They are afraid. They are afraid of us because they realize they are afraid of the new generation of black South Africans who think differently to them and who choose their own different futures. They are scared. Like the Afrikaner government was scared when Anshin Dreya stood up and said, I will not put up with Afrikaner nationalism. They rejected her. Now today they are scared of black South Africans who say, I will not stand up for this form of nationalism. They are just scared. They are afraid that all races will come together united and that black people, white people, Indian people, colored people can work together for those who are left out, who happen to be black, excluded, unemployed, young, and mostly women. That's what they fear. Because it doesn't fit in with their narrative of our history. It doesn't help them stay in power. Every single black leader I see here is because he or she believes in the DA's project and in building a South Africa for all, and because he or she has the skills to help the people to achieve that dream. Therefore, even whoever you elect in this Congress, please don't vote for people who mobilize on the basis of race. It's not the DA. Let us vote for South Africans who stand up for our values. Amandla! And I want to say this, that all of those who are here, I urge you to follow the examples of one of my predecessor leader, Helen Suzman, who as a free white South African went to a jailed Robben Island and fought for prisoners that didn't look like her, didn't speak like her, and certainly didn't share her own faith. Come and see for yourself. Come and join a DA branch. Come and see how we can fight for those who are excluded. Let's put all lies and deception aside, Democrats. Let's engage with the issues that will move our country forward. Let us, in fact, discuss the best vision for our country. Let's interrogate policy. Let's interrogate values and put those in a manifesto. To my fellow Democrats, I warn you, the stronger we get, the more our opponents will lie and deceive. We will have to fight those lies with our values, and we will fight them with the proof that where we govern, our policies in fact work. If every person who voted for the DA last year just tells one other person to vote for the DA, we will replace the ANC in the union buildings. Because Democrats, our people are looking for a fresh start. They don't want empty promises of a new dawn. They need total change. They need to dismantle the corrupt system that still continues to oppress our society. How can we speak of a new dawn when our cabinet is still filled with tsotsis and criminals? How do we speak of a new dawn when in fact our children are still dying in pit latrines in our schools? How do we speak of a new dawn when this same government remains in power after having shot down 34 miners in Marikana and killed 144 mental disabled patients in Life Esidimeni? This cannot be. We need a new beginning, a total change, a new start for our people. They can't remain in power. We need a new dawn because it cannot be good enough that we wake up every day and farmers are being killed brutally in their homes. It can't be so. We can't have a new dawn when so many people are still without land thanks to corruption, incompetence, and not the constitution. It's because they are corrupt and incompetent, but they keep talking about a new dawn. Democrats, I want you to know that we will do everything we can to make sure that this new dawn is about, they want to remove a mayor simply because of the color of his skin, who is working hard to in fact eradicate buckets. This new dawn wants to replace the constitution and be taken apart and remove property rights for people because they threaten simply to mask the government's failures in returning land to the people within the law. We don't need a new dawn. We need a new start. We need complete change. We need to fight drugs. We need a plan that will ensure that our borders are safe and that we can curb illegal immigration. And ultimately, we need it now, we need it today, and our people are waiting for the change they need. We Democrats need a plan that will give our people ownership to the land and protect the rights of all South Africans. But most of all, we need a plan that breaks down the wall that the government has erected between the insiders and the outsiders of our society. Because Democrats, the biggest challenge we face is that in many ways, there are South Africas, there are two South Africas. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. They have a destructive agenda of hateful ideologies that define our country's problems. What they don't see is that maybe some want to cut off the throat of whiteness and kick out a hard-working mayor simply because of the color of his skin. Every day, Democrats, we spend putting out these fires stoked by racial nationalists is a day we spend less on fixing the real problems. We have two distinct nations, as I've said. There are those who are on the inside, and there are those who are on the outside. If you are on the inside, you generally have a job, you are connected, and you have the privileges and opportunities. That's not my fight. My fight is for those who are on the outside, who are desperately poor, who are unemployed and unemployable, who wake up every day. Until then, this is a system that has been designed. Their system that we've got here today has been designed to keep the insiders protected. It's a system where tenders and contracts go to people with political connections who are higher up, where housing lists are manipulated to benefit those with the right party membership, where EPWP jobs znikwa abantu abakhupha membership card kuma councillor wabo. We have to, Democrats, fight against those who keep the system in place, such as trade unions and labor legislation that protect the employed at the expense of the unemployed. We need to reject a black economic empowerment that is set up to empower and re-empower the super rich while the majority of the people still remain in poverty. If you are on the inside of South Africa is working for you. But if you are on the outside, you need a chance for change right now. Democrats, we cannot trust this government, and we have to meet this challenge, regardless of how much all we can do is focus on our own efforts, because we have to achieve mighty results. We triumphed in the fight against the corrupt president and his handlers because we were angry at what they'd done. And now, Democrats, I want you to be angry about an injustice in South Africa. We have to summon the same anger towards a system that keeps more than half of our people trapped in poverty. We have to summon that anger to the fact that children up to the age of 12 years of school only find themselves completely unprepared to step out into the world and secure a job. This must make you angry. Democrats, we must be angry about the fact that our learners drop out of school without finishing matric. They drop out of school because they can't even complete their degrees. It must make you angry. It must make you angry that the youth of this country are still unemployed. It must make you angry the fact that 17 million people of our grant recipients can barely make a living. It ought to make us angry. It must make us angry the fact that our investors are pulling out and putting money elsewhere. We could, Democrats, be Africa's biggest economy. We could set the tone for investment here, and we can eradicate extreme poverty. The fact that we're not doing this makes me absolutely furious. We have to bring a change. My fellow Democrats, our country needs a complete change, a new beginning. We need a tomorrow we can all believe in. And I believe it is possible. I believe we can break down the walls that divide our society. I believe we can open the doors of our economy to millions who still find themselves locked out. But if we are going to do this, we have to get a few things right. The first thing is we have to ensure that we find ways to get South Africans onto the jobs ladder. Secondly, we have to ensure that there's an environment that is conducive for those who create work to thrive. And thirdly, we have to ensure that nobody is left behind. The first of these tasks is getting people into work. A South Africa that could work for them. One of ours is, in fact, a cradle-to-career approach that includes early childhood development, offering post-school opportunities for all, and skilling older workers and harnessing the lost skills of those who have already retired. But we cannot prepare all of these people for jobs that don't exist. And so our second is about building an economy that grows. And at the heart of this is a city-led economic growth. All over the world, cities are setting the pace as to how we do economic growth. They are the ones who have the capability to build infrastructure, and they are the ones who are the homes for 70% of our citizens. The city of Johannesburg and the Western Cape already determine more than half of the country's GDP. Local governments are better placed to deliver infrastructure required for growth, and they are more directly accountable to the people they serve. Our challenge must be ensuring that we build economic growth so that we can ensure that there's benefit to our country and those in rural communities can experience this growth. But even with the best plans and execution, there will always be people who are left behind. And that's the third part of our offer. We have to ensure that the private sector must drive job creation, but government still has a role in helping those who are left behind to secure a job and an independent income. And therefore, the role includes interventions like a national civilian service, an extension of a government internship program, and establishment of job centers. This, fellow Democrats, is how we will empower people with the independence that comes with a job. This is how we build one nation with one future. This is how Democrats, the DA, wants to present itself active in every community. Whether we are in government or whether we are not, we must offer the kind of leadership that makes a vote for the DA next year an obvious choice. If you want to be the government for all South African, then every action that we take must demonstrate this. We've prided ourselves in our delivery track record. It is what sets us apart more than anything else from our opponents. People vote for us because we've been gifted a rare opportunity to demonstrate in our cities and our towns across the country. We dare not fail at this time, Democrats. We need to show people what they can expect from their government. And I know we will succeed because we will never abandon our values, our liberal values. Our party has been built for many decades as a political home for all South Africans. And therefore, we have to unashamedly while others unashamedly drive wedges between races and speak only for minorities, we will never do so. This will remain our clear blue water between us and our opponents. Ours, Democrats, is a mission to unite the people of this country. Ours is a mission to build an economy and a society that is shared by all. Ours, Democrats, is a mission to break down the walls that keep so many people trapped in poverty. And I want to ask you, every day when you wake up, your mission is to fight for those South Africans who are left behind. It is a mission that will require of us sacrifice and sweat from each and every person in this room and the millions who call themselves DA people. It is a mission that every day we ought to be outraged by the hardship that so many people still face, who are our brothers and our sisters. Fellow South Africans, fellow Democrats, Martin Luther King once said, if you wish to compose or write or pray or preach, then I must be angry. Then all the blood in my veins is stirred and my understanding is sharpened. I want you, as we consider policies in this Congress and ultimately chart our way forward, remind ourselves what makes us angry. We ought to be angry, fellow Democrats. I want the blood in your veins to be stirred with the understanding sharpened when you think of the injustices in our society. I want you to direct your anger towards building a South Africa that is fair, that is free, that is full of opportunities for all our people. And Democrats, this is our mission. It is a mission to ensure those left behind who are landless, we will, within the Constitution, accelerate land reform and land restitution. I want to ask every single provincial leader, federal chair, and the deputy chairperson to come, in fact, to join me on stage. Because here's what I believe, Democrats. Change is coming. I don't know if you believe it. I can feel it. Because ultimately, our legacy to South Africa is to make sure that we break racial nationalism to bring about a change for all South Africans. Fellow South Africans, I'm here to call upon you to say, let us continue this mission in every community, in every society, to make sure our people can hear us, that the DA is for all. We're working for an economy for all. We want those who are left out to be included, and our values will charter a way forward for a South Africa for all. You are part of that historic mission, and I want you to join me and join this leadership team here of South Africans who are committed to our future. Amurena, abuluke schaba sayesu, Nkosi, Sigeleli Africa, God, Sien, South Africa. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa, our land. God bless you. Amansa!
Aye,